Nothing about that night was normal. Part 2. The car I had then didn't have a backup camera, so I didn't have any visuals. I'm thinking I hit a fence or a tree or something. Me and my friend are looking all around the car trying to see what it was, but there was nothing. I pulled forward and reversed again. Then my friend screamed at the top of her lungs and I almost jumped out of my skin. I was like, "What? Why are you screaming?" And she just points and stares out the window. I follow her eyes and flinched when I see a man standing right outside the window. A big smile and these thick glasses with a turtleneck and pastel blue shorts that were pulled up to basically his neckline. Not really. They were like up way high, above his hips and belted so tight. It looked awful and super uncomfortable. I cracked the window when I recognized that it was the guy we'd been trying to meet. I just awkwardly laughed and said, "I didn't see you there." Then he just starts pulling on the door handle, to the passenger seat, the one my friend is clearly sitting in. The doors were still locked so, of course, the door didn't open. But I was like, "Hey, just hop in the back." And I unlocked the doors. Then he disappeared behind the car. I looked at my friend and was just like, "What the?" Then the door behind me opens and he gets in on that side. Why he didn't get in on the side he was already on is beyond me, but, whatever. Maybe he had good reason. Maybe it was just that he was a little awkward. Well, we found out soon that he was indeed awkward. Very awkward. When he'd gotten in, he was heavily winded, just breathing really hard and laughing like, not to be offensive, but like, how a stereotypical nerdy dude would laugh. Throaty and nasally. Me and my friend were being casual and I eventually said, "Damn, man, it's fucking dark out here." That apparently opened the floodgates because he just went on this long spiel, rambling about the situation, going in circles and answering his own rhetorical questions. Not pausing long enough for anyone else to speak. I started to pull out back the way I came. And he eventually quieted down. It was silent for a second and I think he caught on to what he was doing. We started talking about the city. Normal stuff you'd likely talk about when meeting someone new. He quickly cooled out and settled his nerves and relaxed. Which was a huge relief. As we were chatting and headed back, my gas light came on and so I pulled into a gas station a few blocks from our place, now back in the city, still lively as ever. I parked at a pump and both of them said that they needed to get something from inside. He hopped out and walked straight toward the door. My friend stepped out but turned back into the car, digging through her purse to get her wallet. We kinda started laughing because it was still funny how the initial interaction went down and we were both thinking it. Then out of nowhere some group of middle-aged women start scream laughing and hollering at me and my friend in the car. I was confused at first, but then one of the women said, "Y'all wrong as hell." My friend turned around and said, "What?" The women kept laughing and pointing at the guy we'd picked up. He hadn't made it inside yet, and one of them said, "How the hell you let this man out the house looking like that?" They were hysterical about his getup. The weirdly fashioned clothing he had on. He didn't acknowledge them at all, but I could see from where I was how bright red his face was. It was super awkward and a little uncomfortable, but he kept going and went inside. The group of women dissipated, then my friend started to head into the gas station. I was texting on my phone, now alone in the car for a moment. I hadn't gotten out yet to pump gas. But as I was texting, I had this super weird feeling in my gut that just said, "Lock your doors." I didn't know why I responded so quickly, but I'm glad I did. I reached over and locked my doors, looked around the lot, and went back to texting. Next thing you know, someone pulls on my door handle.